G'day, it's Rob here again. Well, today we're going to look at something that I suspect a lot of workshops don't have, and that's one of these. It's a thread pitch gauge. Now, this is one I've had since I was in my 20s, made in Japan. It's a generic one that basically allows you to count the TPI of pretty much any small bolt, and basically it's a set of profiles that match a given tooth pitch set. Now, this one, as I said, is generic, so it's not trying to come down to the nth degree as far as what it's actually measuring as far as the bolt type, but it will get you started in the right direction. So there's only 10 blades in this. It only does small sizes, and small sizes are really where you struggle, because trying to count them manually, the tooth pitch, is pretty difficult, and it's much easier with these. The one that I'm looking at today is one that Banggood has sent me, and yeah, here's a couple of screen grabs of it. Okay, now the Banggood one is over 50 profiles. It does imperial and it does metric, so that will help you further. And I mean, considering the price, these things are like so cheap. I mean, I think the Banggood one's only about, it's less than $6 Australian, so at the price there's no excuse for not having one. And if you're a person who does a lot of bolt up work, has a lot of bolts laying around mixed up, you don't know what thread's what, you need one of these. Okay, I'll show you the Banggood one. Right, we can see that the Banggood one is much bigger than the old one I've got. It basically has more leaves, more reference blades, so it can reference a bigger range of bolt sizes. And yeah, basically 50 something in there and 10 in there. Of course, you've got imperial and you've got metric, so it's basically about 25 in each of those measurement types. So we've got metric there, which is the German technical term for metric, if you look it up. And on this side we've got Whitworth, which is your main imperial measurement, and they're the two most common thread types that most people use. Yeah, moving on. Here's an example of some of the thread types that are around and the way the profiles and the angles vary. The pitch gauge can be whatever type of thread you're going to be dealing with the most, but the Banggood one is probably the two most common threads going, and the ones that most people would use regularly. So how do you use it? Well, I'll show you. Here's a good example. We've got two bolts. This is a 10mm metric, and this is a 3/8 imperial. And you can see how close those threads are together. Side by side they look identical, don't they? But they're not. And people often get stuffed up between these two sizes and these two particular threads. Now, let's measure the metric one, or profile it, I should say. And here we are with the metric pitch for a 10mm bolt, and you can see it matches perfectly. Now let's try the same on the imperial bolt, which looks the same, but it doesn't. You can see there's that slight difference. You see? It'd be the same thing if I was to use the imperial gauge. Now I'll put the imperial gauge on the Whitworth and it should be spot on. There it is, absolutely perfect. 18 TPI. Now they've got it marked as 18G, which is 18 gauge, but normally they're marked as just numbers, they don't have the G, so anyway. But anyway, that's the Whitworth one, and that's the correct pitch. Once again, we go to metric. And it's just that bent out, you see, on the ends. So that's all it takes, and that would mean that the bolts would just jam up, even though they'd screw on part way probably, they would then lock up. So that's how you use the gauge. So using these, you have to reference to thread screw pitch charts to see what you've actually got. You know, you have to reference the reading you take and the diameter of the bolt to get the correct size. But it's all doable. I mean, the only other way you could do it would be to try and count it manually. But I mean, that's just about impossible when you get these small sizes. Big ones you can do it, but that's it. As far as the thread pitch gauge goes, it's really nicely made. The profiles are all clean and crisp, which is what you want. They're well formed, so you get a perfect match. And you know, the really dodgy ones have got rounded over teeth and they're not so hot. These also, you can tighten or loosen the pivot points, so you can, you know, make it easier to swing the blades, the profiles in or out. And overall, I mean, they're all very, very similar, but this one is, yeah, particularly well made and functions nicely. What more can you say? For the money, I mean, they're great. You know, if you're going through your bolts and you want to work out what the hell you've got, well, this is basically the answer. Okay, so the link to this product is in the video description. And as I said, this is really cheap. It's under $6 in Australia, plus postage. But even with postage, it still works out at half the price you would pay for the same item through a retail store. So, yeah, get it through Banggood. All right, well, that's it from me. I hope you found it interesting. There's a lot to learn with screw threads. There are so many varieties, so many variations between the way they're formed, the shapes, the, you know, the angles. Yep, there's a big subject. So I only just scratched the surface here. All right, that's it for me. I'll see you next time. Cheers.